Live from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, FATV presents coverage of the 5th annual Hockey Day in the Burg. And we bring you 2 games here from Fitchburg today, an annual tradition. In game number 1, we have the Falcons of Fitchburg State playing host to the Raiders of Rivier University. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in alongside Nola Patty. I'm Daniel Bolak. Happy to have you along with us here today.
So excited for this matchup.
Absolutely. John Gugerty was going to be here with us, but unfortunately his day job sent him off somewhere else. He is in the Fitchburg area. Unfortunately, it's Wisconsin. We will hopefully see him again later in the season. Nevertheless, though, this is going to be a very, very interesting game. The Falcons coming in 13-5, 6-1 in the MASCAC. Big 4-1 winners on Thursday night over Westfield State in what was one of the biggest tests of the season for this side.
Absolutely. The last MASCAC team that they had yet to play this season, a 4-1 win, as you mentioned, goals from Macchione, Bronte, Dunn, and Milhorn, really showing their depth there. As we were talking, before we came on air, that freshman line, the only points that they had were on the power play goal from Dunn, and that's because they're on that first power play unit. So Westfield doing a great job of shutting down that phenomenal freshman line, but the Falcons' depth really shining through. They played a complete all-around game. Soderberg had 35 saves in net. They went 2 for 6 on the power play. Good consistency through all 3 periods, and they, again, showed off their depth really well.
Westfield's had a very scary offense. The Falcons did a tremendous job in equalizing them, holding them to just a late power play goal. The Falcons now 13-5 on the season, 6-1 in the MASCAC. Rivier has struggled a little bit. They're a very young squad. All the players from their very first team a few years ago have now graduated. This is the first class since then. And so they've got a very young 14 freshmen on the roster, and they're still growing and learning. They came into Thursday night's matchup with a record of 1-15-1. And obviously the script would say that bad times were coming in Worcester against the Lancers. Rivier did not read the script.
Absolutely, an 8-1 win for the Raiders. So many players contributing to that scoreboard. One in particular, though, number 5 for the Raiders, had 3 goals and 2 assists to his name.
Yep, that was Michael Caparco. Came into the game with 8 career points, and he put up 6. 3 goals, 3 assists, a hat trick for the sophomore. And not only that, the second goal was a literal highlight reel goal.
Absolutely, a Michigan goal right behind the net. Pretty surprising, really hard move to pull off, but like you said, really awesome when you do it.
Yep. No matter what level you're at, to pull off that move is quite spectacular, and obviously quite a statement game for the Raiders. So they come into this game having snapped a long winless streak. They had their only other win this year came against Salem State back on November 19th. Notably enough, that was the only game the Falcons have played in the MASCAC that they did not win.
So yeah, it's going to be a great matchup between these 2 teams. Riv, obviously a team you can't take lightly, as we can see, versus Salem, versus Worcester. They put up goals. So it's just going to be a matter of the Falcons staying defensively sound, having their offense attacking on every aspect, and really just playing a complete game all 3 periods today.
Indeed, the numbers will say that Fitchburg has the great advantage, but Rivier has the ability to play some strong hockey, and they've got the ability to steal a game or 2. They already have this season. It will be a very interesting game, but of course, we can't forget too, this is the annual Hockey Day in the Burg. All to support Jake Tebow, the Fitchburg native. And we're going to let you listen in to Dr. Robert Hines, who is going to tell us all about Jake's story, and along with giving us the starting lineups and lead us into the national anthem and all of the good stuff. We'll let you listen into the festivities here on Hockey Day in the Burg on FATV.
Good afternoon all, and welcome to the Wallace Civic Center, Fitchburg State University.
So a couple technical difficulties there with the public address system there, but as we all know, Jake
NCAA Division III men's.
As you can see, Doc Hines keeps testing it. It keeps working. He brings it to his mouth. He tries to say something, and he can't say anything. Just one of those technical difficulties that happen sometimes. But as we know, the 5th annual Hockey Day in the Burg, and a quadruple header here of hockey here in Fitchburg to raise money for Jake Tebow, who suffered 2 broken vertebrae and partial paralysis in an on-ice collision back on September of 2021. And, you know, every year they've done this game, you know, obviously Jake is close with Dean Fuller, head coach of the Falcons.
Good afternoon all, and welcome to the Wallace Civic Center at State University for today's NCAA Division.
I keep wanting to throw back to Doc Hines because I keep wanting to believe it's fixed.
But yeah, obviously Jake's story, such an important one, especially being an athlete myself, taking inspiration from his no-quit mentality. And it's just been great to see how powerful of a story and how powerful of a message he's been able to share with people.
And Jake, with all action, being donated to the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. Jake suffered a catastrophic injury while on the ice, November 4th, 2021. Jake will never forget his first at Spalding when he had to be lifted out of his bed and placed into a power wheelchair because he didn't have the even sit up on his own. Jake had been proud of the work he put into getting stronger for hockey. So imagine the prize when he could barely lift a 3-pound dumbbell. After a few days at Spalding, he realized he either do all that he had lost or fight with all that he had to beat this. He chose the latter. It was time to dig deep and fight. All benefit from Jake's motto, no until he is standing side by side, thanking all of you who have helped him along his journey. At this time, would you please direct your attention to center ice as we welcome Jake Tebow for this afternoon's shot. Joining Jake for the puck drop, now let's meet the starting. It's now time to introduce the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Raiders. At forward, a sophomore from Cranston, Rhode Island, number 5, Michael Caparco. At forward, a first-year student from Faribault, Minnesota, number 9, Aaron Sawicki. At forward, a first-year student from Eagle, Colorado, number 20, Mason Rudrud. At defense, a first-year student from Brewster, Massachusetts, number 71, Peyton Kender. And at defense, a first-year student from Boylston, Massachusetts, number 10, Wesley Haynes. In goal for the Raiders, a sophomore from London, Ontario, Canada, number 1, Josh Curtin. Rivier is coached by Sean Millerick in his 4th season. Stoney and Jared Henderson. And now the starting lineup for your Fitchburg State Falcons. At forward, a junior from Douglas, Massachusetts, number 16, Hunter Dunn. At forward, a freshman from Hatfield, Mass, number 10, Devin Niles. At forward, a freshman from Cheshire, Connecticut, number 14, Ty Battapaglia. At defense, a senior from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, number 15, Trenton Skaggs. At defense, a senior from Littleton, Colorado, number 2, Nolan Sargent. And between the pipes for the Falcons, a junior from Harrison Township, Michigan, number 30, Frederick Soderberg. Fitchburg State is coached by Dean Fuller in his 42nd season, assisted by associate head coach Tom Patty, Chris Kine, Mike Chartrand, Kevin Lazat, and Cameron Isabel. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise as you are able for the playing of our national anthem.
Moments away from puck drop here at the Wallace Civic Center here on Hockey Day in the Burgh. The Fitchburg State Falcons and the Rivier Raiders. Daniel Bolak, Nola Patty here with us. Happy to have you along with us here today on FATV. Saw the ceremonial puck drop between Trenton Skaggs for the Falcons, Alfred Rody for the Raiders. Jeremy Millette there as well for the Falcons. He's hurt right now. Why he normally is the one who does the ceremonial face-off, but injuries throwing a wrench in it, but still out there to participate and support his longtime friend.
Yeah, always great to see him out there with Jake. And again, great to have him here with us today, celebrating him, celebrating his story, his legacy, and everything he has just done for the community. You know, and the community has done for him. So a great annual Hockey Day in the Burgh. And an interesting thing for the Falcons, Filimonov out for today's game. His first game of the season, he will not be playing it, out with injury. Set to come back hopefully for next week, but Hunter Dunn in place here. Now, the last time that this line had someone new step into it was when DeLuca came in, and he had a goal and an assist, first of his career. So good things happen when people come into this line. It's going to be really interesting to see how Dunn and his veteran abilities can mix with these two freshmen.
Falcons will go from left to right in the first period in the home white uniforms, and the Raiders in the dark blue road uniforms will go from right to left. As Niles tries to settle that, puck pops up in the air. He's going to be able to get it back in the right wing corner, backhanded around the boards into the left wing corner. Mason Rudrud will get it out of the zone. Nolan Sargent tries to knock it down. Michael Picarco is in the area trying to take it away. But Sargent keeps a hold of it, back in front of the Falcon bench. Pass up to Dunn, can't handle it. Rudrud tries to gain the blue line, delayed offside. One of the Raiders jumped the zone a little early. They've got a tag up. Falcons will try to come back the other way. Trenton Skaggs into the zone, tries to take the shot, and that deflects into the netting and out of play.
Good opening first few seconds of this game. You can see Skaggs joining in on that offensive rush. And this is something in the more recent decades of hockey, defensemen joining in on that offensive movement. Great to see him recognizing his lane, joining in on the rush, and good block there off the stick of a Raider, but still a great opportunity.
We've talked a little bit about it in the past, the fact that Trenton Skaggs came up as a forward and then took on the defensive roles as he moved further up the ladder in his hockey lifetime development. And you can see flashes of that at times. That ends up going off Macchione, off Nathan Dan, and into the glove of Josh Curtin. He'll glove it. Curtin, the sophomore from London, Ontario, Canada, He's a biology major, the only goaltender on the Raiders who is not an applied exercise science. His 11th appearance of the season, his 9th start. He's got a 2.5-1 record, 491 goals against, 887 save percentage. He faces about 44 shots a game. You know, last time these two teams met here in Fitchburg, it was a 4-3 win for the Falcons. That was actually Josh Curtin's first career start. As the Raiders trying to force a turnover, try to get a shot off. Levi Adcock wasn't able to get anything away. Jackson Collins gains the red line and just pushes it into the zone. Falcons will change the forward line out, as on the near side, Carter Poulan will gain the blue line, dump it in, knocked down there by Freddie Soderberg. Soderberg making his 3rd straight start. Falcons only dressing 2 goalkeepers today, as here's John Mantone, who's got a chance, he puts it over the net. Out to the far side trying to clear it out was David Kiawasu. He doesn't get any wood on that puck. Out to the red line, dumped back in by the Falcons. Well, over 2 minutes gone in this contest. No score, no shots on target yet. Trying to hit a stretch pass there for Tyler Sitnikov. Doesn't go anywhere, but Raiders will follow on, get a shot on. First proper shot of the game by Kiawasu is stopped by Soderberg.
And we've seen it in a lot of games for the Falcons this year. They're totaling up shots early in this first period, and they're out shooting their opponents 6-0, 7-0, whatever it is. Now that Raiders have a shot of their own, starting to build momentum here early in the game. I mean, it's not too significant, but it is in a way.
I do remember when these two teams played here in Fitchburg last year, that it took about 18.5 minutes for the Raiders to actually get a shot on target. And that first shot on target found the back of the net, too. But Rivier is the type of team you can't just rely on the statistics to tell you what the narrative's going to be for this contest. That's turned towards Soderberg, and he's not going to be able to cover it up. Rivier able to push that puck back towards goal, but Soderberg was able to stop it.
The Raiders coming off really strong in this first period. I mean, even the first few minutes of this period, you can see getting quality shots. Soderberg a little too far out of his reach the first time. Luckily didn't turn to anything too scary there, but Falcons just need to make sure they stay defensively sound and keep working their brand of hockey.
Yeah. Must have been a bit scary there for the junior keeper there. You know, already down, in position, not really in a spot where he could use his skates to push off and drive forward. So now comes the left side shot, score! Hunter Dunn! He swaps it onto that top line and finds instant dividends. 2:54 into the contest. First shot on target for the Falcons finds the back of the net.
And we talked about it before, how is Dunn going to mesh with Niles and Battapaglia in this line? And the veteran player steps up, which is a great pass there from Niles. Has Dunn right on his left, and so awesome to see him joining the line and making great things happen.
Well, Falcons take it all the way, and they score! It's done again! 2 goals in 11 seconds! 2-0 Falcons!
I mean, again, coming into this game, that freshman line's getting broken up again. You wonder, are they gonna miss a beat at all? No, they don't. Dunn comes in, 2 goals off the assist from Niles yet again. It's incredible how well these players can work together no matter who's in the lineup.
It looked like that was just a broken play. Everything just so precariously out of reach, not just for Niles, but for the Raiders. The puck came out to that left side. Now another chance. And Collins' shot is stopped. Another chance by Nathan Dan is stopped by
Goal scored by number 16, Hunter Dunn, assisted by Devin Niles and Andrei Bondarev. At 3:05 of the first period, goal scored again by Hunter Dunn, assist by Halbig and Bondarev.
They give it to Halbig and Bondarev, but I'm pretty sure that Niles had the last touch before Dunn put it in, so I think that's mistaken identity. I'm just going to give it to 10 and 5 on my sheet. Meanwhile, Riv tries to respond, and one that goes through the paint, but nobody to knock it home on the other side. One of the things the Falcons have been so good at this season is getting the first strike. Only twice this year have they conceded the first goal. And not only did they get the first goal yet again, they get two in a matter of seconds.
I think the Falcons took that first shot on goal personally and definitely hurt us a little bit up here in the booth and wanted to redeem themselves with that one.
Here's John Manto gaining zone on the left side, rubbed into the boards by Aaron Sawicki. That's thrown through the paint. Can't be handled on the other side. DeLuca blows a tire in the right wing corner. Raiders get it out of the zone, skating up ice. Here's Kiawasu out to the right side. Shot save by Soderberg. Off the stick of Sawicki. Down to left wing corner. Sawicki will get to that one. He's one of the more dynamic freshmen that Rivier has. He settles it down, gets a shot that rises over the crossbar. In the right wing corner, that one's going to ride the boards, touch the netting, and bring a stoppage to play. 15-19 to go, first period, 2-0 Falcons.
This has probably got to be some of the most exciting first period hockey we've seen in a while. I mean, both teams firing on all cylinders. The Falcons have 2 goals for their efforts, but the Raiders still getting some quality opportunities right in front of Soderberg.
Draw will come to the Michigan natives' left. Tied up, and the puck makes its way around to the near side of the net as Niles moves it up for Batapaglia. We mentioned Alexei Filimonov is out with injury today, as we have a whistle and a slash indicated. So that's why Hunter Dunn's on this. We call it the top line. It's officially the third line. It's one of the weird things about hockey sometimes. But Dunn quickly making his impact known, gets his 7th and 8th goals of the season. Is going to the box is Michael Cabarco. He picks up penalty minutes 23 and 24 on the season with the slash.
Raiders averaging 20.89 penalty minutes per game. We'll see how they do on this kill.
The penalty kill's not good for Riv this year either, about 66%. Shot looking for a redirection in front. Batapaglia and Niles both trying to jam away. Curtin able to stand strong and get that covered up.
Falcons power play started off really strong this season, has looked a little suspect in the last few stretches of games. They had 2 power play goals in that Westfield game, which was awesome. But definitely a unit that had a lot of success early, then a little suspect in the past few games.
Dunn was already on that top power play unit. Swap in another Falcon, and they'll swap in a second defenseman on this unit there with Andrei Bondarev, who tries to fire but doesn't get very much wood on it. Falcons still able to take control of it. Niles back to Bondarev, much more wood that time. A little offline, but you can see the pace that the Swede has. Kiawasu trying to create an opportunity. Nothing going there. Raiders did have a shorthanded goal against Worcester from Alfred Rhodey 2 nights ago. That was their first shorthanded goal of the season. But Rivier's penalty kill, 66% is in the bottom 7 nationally. I can't tell you exactly where because there are statistical reasons for that. Certain processes don't really work right now in the college stats world. So I can't actually tell you how bad it is. It's just not good. It is last in the conference though, I can tell you that much at least. This scrum against the boards, killing a good 15 to 20 odd seconds. Finally, Rivier able to get control of it and sent down the ice by Tyler Sitnikov. Second unit will come back on, but Dunn will keep control of it for a little longer. Get it out to Skaggs at the right point. High rising shot off the boards, off the back of the net. Marcus Macchione had a goal and an assist 2 nights ago. The only Falcon with a multi-point game, in fact. As that will be rimmed around the boards, Alexander Beauvais pick it up in the corner. Penalty is up now to Parco. And Rivier goes back to full strength. 7 minutes gone, 2-0 Falcons. On the near side, off the boards, out to Caparco. Puts a backhand on, took a change in direction on the way. Soderberg able to track it nevertheless. Macchione on the near side. Gets tangled up a little bit, but keeps the puck going. Right wing corner, Sawicki is able to take control. Backhand pass to move it along behind the net. Rivier will hold and take a breath. Sawicki, the freshman from Faribault, Minnesota. Has himself 18 points on the season. That leads the team. Puck comes down to the near side. Declan Bronte, the Australian, moves it from Mantone, getting tangled up there with Brady Bomo. We're still moving it along, getting that towards goal. Falcons are able to spit that out of the zone. Bomo will take it back. A touch there by Caparco. Comes to Soderberg, who'll play it along to Isaiah McKinney. McKinney will stretch it up into the neutral zone. Settled down for a moment by Chris Zapata, but sent back into the zone by the Raiders. The pressure there from Chris Allain. Out behind the net. Declan Bronte to the near side. Jack Saavedra with a touch. Jackson Collins off the boards. Here's Zapata. Puts on the brakes, wires one towards goal, goes behind the net. And out of the zone it'll go. Saavedra back to McKinney, back to Saavedra. Holds on the far side in front of his bench, tries to get it to Collins. Pinned up right in front of the scorer's table. And finally the puck poked back into the Rivier end. 11:15 to go, first period. Falcons 2, Raiders nothing. Goals by Hunter Dunn and Hunter Dunn. And offside against the Raiders. Let's take a moment to thank our FATV underwriters.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Lowstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, The Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
Shots 8-4 in favor of the Falcons in the early going. Here's Battipaglia. Tried to self-pass off the boards. Raider getting in the way of that. Back into the zone on the far side. And for Battipaglia, tries to one-timer. McKinney with a shot. Sticked away by Curtin. Got it with the shaft of the stick there. Battipaglia with a shot, look for the redirection, but it goes offline. Andrew Wallison throws it out towards goal. Nothing going there. Back to McKinney. He settles, he fires. And that's turned aside by Curtin as well. Battle on the near side. Dunn picks it up. Out to the right side, Battipaglia tries to settle off his skate. Has trouble controlling it. Hayden Kender getting into the neutral zone and dumping it in. Dunn on the far side. Will absorb the hit. Pass it off to McKinney. Got his pocket picked. Taken out, Kiawasu having trouble controlling it. Out to the left side, shot rides up a stick into the netting and out of play.
McKinney trying to get his first point of the season. The only Falcon who have yet scored a point so far. You can see they're dropping the puck back to him, trying to get him that far shot on net. Either looking for that redirection or just a shot from him. And this would definitely be a great game to get it in, for sure.
He's obviously got the pace on the shots. He's got the ability. Just the opportunities haven't presented themselves quite yet. Nicholas Milhorn on the left side for John Mantone. Trying to pass it back. Milhorn with a touch behind the net. Mantone trying to regain control right wing corner. That gets caught up in one of the referees. They're part of the ice too, after all. Puck will pop out to the left point. Haldig, shot saved by Curtin. Rebound score! Nicholas Milhorn able to fire home the rebound. Falcons lead 3-0.
Falcons really starting to take control of this game here. You see that shot from out far by Haldig, and Milhorn crashing in on the doorstep there, able to pick up the rebound and net it home. His second goal in 2 games, had one in that Westfield game to cap off the win for the Falcons. Able to get another goal here, and he's been on fire as of late.
4th goal of the season for the junior from Brownstown, Michigan. 3-0 lead for the Falcons. And there'll be another assist too for Christian Haldig. That will go for icing. Haldig on the season now with 16 assists.
Making his grad year count.
First period. Scored by number 24, Nicholas Milhorn. Assisted by John and Anthony DeLuca.
They give Mantone and DeLuca the assists. Again, not really trusting the reports our referees are giving to the scorers table. They'll try to get that straightened away during the intermission or something. I have a whistle here. I think we're going to get some matching minors. Mr. O'Malley is not terribly happy with the conduct of some of our players. Jackson Collins and Aaron Sawicki are going to sit for 2 minutes each.
Little extra words as they sit down in the box. So some 4-on-4 hockey being played here. We've seen the Falcons play a lot of 4-on-4 hockey this year, whether that's, you know, them being on the power play, then conceding a penalty or vice versa. Opens up a lot of more space, a lot of more room to move, circulate the puck, and get shots on goal.
We'll see how that changes things up here with the different man strength. Aaron Sawicki and Jackson Collins each go for roughing. Now the Falcons trying to create a break-up ice. Here's Devin Niles getting it off to Battapaglia. The shot goes wide. The angle is tough there. Battapaglia there briefly battling with Mark Phillips' counterpart in 14. On the right side, Alfred Rody. Out into the left wing corner. It's pinched up against the boards. Loses the puck. Pops out to that right side. Kept in by Wesley Haynes. Around to the left side. And then around to the far. Falcons will pick it up there from Nolan Sargent. Sargent with a stretch pass. Got enough of a tip, I think, from Niles that they'll waive the icing. 65 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. 8:17 to go. First period, 3-0 Falcons. Dunn and Milhorn, the goal scorers. Here is Dunn, by the way. He's able to flip it out to Marcus Macchione. On the right side. Skaggs trying to get it back to Dunn. Bounce a bit too strong off the boards and out of his reach. Well, that pass out of the reach of Rody. Now Dunn re-enters the zone. Now he'll circle back there with the pressure there from Peyton Kender. Falcons will withdraw all the way back into their own zone and hold behind their net for a moment. 25 to go on the 4-on-4. Here's Dunn regaining the zone. Out to the left side. Gave it to Bronte, back to Dunn. Wasn't in a shooting position, tries to get it to Wallison. But he's not able to handle the puck, and a 2-on-1 developing for the Raiders. But cutting back there is Evan Miles. Didn't really like the shooting lane. Thrown in front looking for a redirection, doesn't come. Penalty's about to expire to Collins and Sawicki, and they're both out of the box. Both teams back to full strength with 7:10 to go in the first. 3-0 Falcons in front.
Some good opportunities for the Falcons there, unable to capitalize, but still putting on the pressure.
Devin Jolly carrying it up on the far side. Now for Sawicki. Throws it off the glass. Hits the back of the net, back out to the left point. Stretched across. Zapata trying to disrupt that pass. He's looking for Jolly again. On that right side, Evan Miles dispossessed briefly, but kept in the zone. Thrown towards goal by Soderberg, couldn't cover it up, and now a shot ends up deflecting into the netting and out of play. That was a dangerous opportunity for a moment for Rivier.
They keep coming out of nowhere, too. It feels like the Falcons, you know, maintaining offensive possession, playing strong defense, and all of a sudden, you know, Soderberg's out of his crease, and they have a good opportunity. You can see their shot goes high. Soderberg able to get back, centered in his crease between the posts, knowing where to place his body.
Falcons win the draw, put it off the glass. Nicholas Milhorn in the foot race trying to kill the icing, but just a stride ahead was Carter Poulin. Senior from Berlin, New Hampshire. Didn't do the junior hockey route. He played for his local high school.
Always great to see. I think it's great motivation for high school hockey players to see players like that. You know, we had some Sammy Rennick. I know we talked about him a few times this season, but to see his story coming from high school hockey, it's great motivation for high school hockey players themselves to see that it can be done.
Wonder if there's a coaching position waiting in Berlin too after this year when Poulin graduates. I mean, that's how it worked for Sammy Rennick. Puck loose in the slot for a brief moment. Poulin trying to move it into the right wing corner. DeLuca got run over there for a moment. Caparco trying to beat it out. Now a loose puck, Mantone on the foot race. Poulin able to get there first. Falcons gain the zone legally, but the puck will make its way back into the left wing corner for Poulin. Spins around and protects the puck from Milhorn. Now to the near side for Sawicki. Gains the red, shoots it on target. That direction. Soderberg just gets a glancing blow on it. Here's Battipaglia in the neutral zone. Gets across the blue, tries to take it all the way to goal. Got the shot off, and the save made by Josh Curtin, his 11th of the night. Rivier had the first couple of shots in this contest. I believe since then it's 14-2, and the Falcons have found the back of the net 3 times since then. Battipaglia, he's got space and time. He shoots, that's punched away by Curtin with the blocker. Now thrown back out in front, takes a redirection out to the right side boards. Niles back for Battipaglia. And now back for Niles, and the shot, that was interesting. Actually, I think over the glass, under the netting, struck the back wall. You do not hear that thud often at all.
Niles, just great composure on his play. He always does the extra stuff. The puck is going to the corner. He takes extra strides to get there first, wins the battles, and then is relentless on the back check. Able to maintain possession of the puck, circling around, gets a good shot off. So credit to him and all the effort he puts in every single shift he's on the ice.
Raiders hold behind their own net. Falcons not going to force them to take it out. They'll let Rivier go on their own time. After all, the Falcons are leading by 3 goals. They're not in a rush. Down into the Falcon end. McKinney around the boards. Far side. Here's Dunn. Back into the zone. Dropped off. Niles' shot. Curtin may have gotten a piece off the toe. Thrown back on goal by Bronte. The save made. And the rebound floats just wide to the left off the stick of Niles. Behind the net, Macchione into the right wing circle. Across McKinney's stick says, forget you. Well, that wasn't going to be the stick that was going to get him his first point of the season. Niles with a shot. High riser over the net. Kiyowasu tries to clear it, actually hits the shaft of the stick, and then into the bench, and that will be stopped by Josh Bordeaux.
Saw action in that first Riv game this year. He'll collect McKinney's stick off the ice. Falcons moving the puck so well offensively. Everyone's getting a touch on it. The shots are good. The placement of passes is good. It looks like they're just having fun out there. They're playing loose. They're playing their brand of hockey. And, you know, they know that they're playing for a great cause today. And they're honoring such an important person in our community. So they're really just enjoying every moment of this. And I think what's so important is that they have such good locker room culture. They love each other. They love playing together. They love being together as a team. And I think that is so important, and it's translated so well out onto the ice this year for them. You know, they're just supporting one another, wanting to see each other succeed. And it builds up from that.
The chemistry has been impressive. The play has been impressive. The Falcons with that 3-0 lead. Collins was offside. Mr. Haldig didn't get the memo until the whistle blew.
And even now, just all laughs, all smiles.
Just go, ha ha ha, whoops. We'll try again on the next run. Also love that drum line too.
I actually was a part of marching band for 6 years.
Ooh.
Believe it or not.
Bondarev with a shot. And that'll be gobbled up by Josh Curtin. Our director, Nate Glennie's got some marching band experience as well.
The marching band to sports production line.
You know, Barbara Foster, longtime host on FATV, says sometimes, you know, where you think you're going to be at one point in your life, and then you look back at the present, it's like you wouldn't have thought you'd be in the position you are now.
Absolutely.
She words it way better than I do, though. Flipped up in the neutral zone, out to the far side, delayed offside against the Raiders, and this time it was Wesley Haynes who didn't get the memo.
The Falcons, known for their first period action, I feel like all season they've come out so strong in this first period. And it looks like the narrative's following that route so far today.
I would say for Rivier, the first period's one of their tougher ones of the season. Outscored 26-9 this year in the first frame. Outshot 278 to 125. That part is going to script. Zapata battling there in the corner with Devin Jolly. Look out to the far side. Pass out of the reach of Sean Golden. Back down into the Falcon end. Stretched up a little bit. Here is Zapata. Gaining control of the puck. Moving it around to the right side. This is actually what is officially the first line of the Falcons. But they really do act as more of a checking line the way things work. After all, you're matching them up against the first line of the other team. But they still have just as good of an opportunity to score. Jack Svader and Alexander Bove, the other two on this line. Flip down the ice on the near side. Here is Evan Miles. Settling in the left wing corner. Be rubbed into the boards by Nolan Sargent. Onto the right side, Brogan Andrus. To the right point. And that is going to be called offside. The arm came up kind of late on that one. Would have been very interesting if that puck had gone in the net. By the nature of the offside, it would not have counted. Pass disrupted a little bit, but still gets to Anthony DeLuca. Falcons try to hit the stretch pass. They had a couple of players cherry picking. That didn't work out. Caparco with the shot. Will go into the netting out of play. Might have touched the iron on the way. Touched something on the way. 1:40 to go first period. 3-0 Falcons.
Riv starting to build up their opportunities. See that shot here just coming right down that right side of the ice. Has a decently good lane. So the Falcons able to stop that one.
100 ticks of the clock remain in this first frame. Falcons thoroughly outplaying Rivier. Came in today with just 2 wins on the season. But both those wins against really good teams. As Devin Niles tries to throw it towards goal. Cut down in front. Great jump there by Andrew Wallison to keep it in the zone. Second effort got it out. Battapaglia pushes it back in. Sawicki trying to keep the puck away from Hunter Dunn. Now behind the net, taking a moment, moving up, it's Brady Bommel. This pass touches a Raider on the right side of the red line, so icing waved. Devin Niles skates it up on the far side. Takes that hit there from Mason Rugerud, and that was illegal. It came late, and roughing will be the call. The Falcons are going to get their second power play of the contest.
Definitely a little bit of a late hit there. Not too many arguments from the Raiders as they kind of knew that as soon as the hand went up. Let's just see there. Niles able to dig that puck up close. Close. A second sooner would have been a completely legal check.
I would have expected interference. They gave roughing on that. And the Falcons were called for the offside there. No, a hook. Pretty much immediately. And so the Falcons' second power play of the contest lasts 3 seconds.
And again, the Falcons seeing a lot of 4-on-4 action for this specific reason. They start well in their power play, and then all of a sudden, counter penalty comes up, and they're forced to play 4-on-4.
So we'll have our second stretch of 4-on-4 action, and then at the end of that, Rivier will get a 3-second power play. Good luck with that.
Number 20, Mason Rugerud, 2 minutes for roughing.
Here's Bondarev storming into the zone. Kept control of it. Centered nicely, loose in front. Falcons able to push one shot towards goal. And Curtin able to shut the door on that. Some of these opportunities seem to come out of nowhere, really, for both sides. Rhodey kept control of it, gets the shot, hits the side of the net. tickled the twine, but on the wrong side. Now Sawicki trying to get a shot, jamming away. And Soderberg sticks right with it, keeps it out. And the buzzer will sound to end the first period of play.
Definitely see some frustration from the Raiders, you know, going down 3-0 in the first period. It's a hard thing to come back from, but the Falcons can't go into this second period on their back foot. They got to keep their foot on the gas, keep pushing for more goals.
We talked about it a little bit, that the Falcons' second period has tended to be one of their roughest periods of the season, game in and game out. Granted, that also was one of those things where things didn't quite go to script last time out against Westfield. The Falcons had very much their best period at Amelia Park on Thursday night in the second.
A lot of flip scripts there on Thursday. We'll see what happens with this second period. You know, they have some time in the locker room. We've talked about kind of that home ice locker room advantage the Falcons have had for a lot of this season, playing a lot of their games here home at the Civic Center. They have some time to talk things over. You'll be 4-4, and then, you know, 3-second power play for the Raiders. But overall, I think a great first period. They stayed consistent in their efforts, and I think, you know, it's always been like that. It's always been that first period that come out really strong. It's just going to be interesting to see how they can hold that consistency for all three.
It is, after all, the effort of trying to play a complete 60-minute game. And in the recent home games that we've seen, the Falcons have struggled a little bit with that second period of action. The third period tends to be pretty strong as well, but the first period obviously has been excellent. Once again, the Falcons heavily outshooting their opposition 18-8 in the first period. And the Falcons once again with a big lead through 20 minutes of play, this time a 3-0 lead going into the first intermission. As we're going to take a break here for the intermission. And maybe you'll get to enjoy a little bit of tiny children on skates, skating around, play a little bit of hockey. But me and Nola will take the intermission break along with much of the rest of our crew. But stick with us because there's still a lot more exciting hockey to bring you here today on Hockey Day in the Burgh on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. One period in the books between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Raiders of Rivier University. And it's another hot start for the green and gold. They lead 3-0. Daniel Bolak, Nola Patty here with you. Happy to have you along with us here today on Hockey Day in the Burgh.
Great start for the Falcons, getting on the scoreboard decently early in that period. Hunter Dunn, back-to-back goals within 11 seconds. I mean, it's incredible what he has done, jumping into the line with Battapaglia and Niles in replacement of Filimonov. But great shot opportunities for the Falcons. The freshman Mantone kind of getting things started here. Some great shots back and forth for the Falcons. The Raiders took that first shot on net. The Falcons took that personally and decided to get two by Dunn. You see here, just a great backhanded pass by Niles. Able to find Dunn crashing in on his left. It's almost a no-look pass there from Niles. You can just sense that someone's going to be there for him to pass it to. Another great pull into his body there from Niles, and there you go. Who's crashing on the doorstep? It's Hunter Dunn. Gets his second of the night. Meshing so well with this freshman line, showing off his veteran moves. Shot after shot coming for the Falcons. Felt like they were just maintaining so much offensive possession after those first few minutes. All players getting in the action here, getting shots on net. McKinney looking for his first point of the season. And just great opportunities. Hallbig gonna get this one. Milhorn on the doorstep for the rebound. It just kept flowing for the Falcons. Now you're coming back into this second period. 4-on-4 hockey and then a three-second penalty kill. The second period historically hasn't been great for the Falcons, but we'll see what they can make of this second period coming up.
That's been one of the things we've been following along across the course of the season. Statistically, this is one of the better, this isn't just as bad of a period. You know, 24-13 the Falcons outscore their opponents, but the shots, 224 to 188 in favor of the opposition. It's the only period the Falcons are outshot this season. And oftentimes it's been the case where the second period's been a little bit of a letdown compared to how well they played in the first 20. As for Rivier, Their offense, only 9 goals in the first period all season long. The second period, they've scored 16, which is better. This is also the worst period, though, in terms of goals conceded. They've conceded 37 this season in the second, so that's minus 21. Sean Millerick, third-year head coach of the Raiders, I imagine will have had plenty to say to try to get his team back in. You see Dean Fuller, longtime head coach of the Falcons, 41st season, 42nd year as the head coach of the Green and Gold. And there are the visitors from Nashua. This MASCAC game, ice hockey is the only sport that Rivier is a member of the MASCAC for, the only associate member in ice hockey, both men's and women's.
You got to think the Falcons have known that the second period hasn't been their best. You have that home ice advantage, you have your locker room where your culture has been set, and you've made great memories with the guys so far this season. I just wonder what they talk about between that first and second period. What is the message in that locker room, and how does that translate out onto the ice for the second period?
As we mentioned, though, on Thursday night, they did dominate Westfield State, outscored them 3-0 in that second period. It took what was a scoreless game and turned it into a little bit of a rout. Maybe if there had been any demons haunting them recently in the second period, perhaps they may have exorcised them in Westfield. But we can only see how it's all going to go. We'll start four side for 1:14, barring further shenanigans. Aaron Sawicki and Devin Niles to take the draw to open this second period of action. Rivier going from left to right in the road dark blue uniforms. Falcons going right to left in the home whites. And here is Sawicki into the zone on the left side. Skates around Bungarev. Tries to send it around the boards, but it gets caught down by our referee out there in the corner, and Hunter Dunn will just pick up the sitting puck. Devin Niles will backhand it around the boards behind the net, but a delayed offside, so Hunter Dunn can only skate by it and not touch it. Caden Kender into the zone on the right side, swings that towards goal, goes off some legs, doesn't go on target. Now back to Dunn on the right side. Gained the red and floated in. Falcons will change up a couple of players. It's Alfred Rody back on the far side for Rivier. Kender stretches up for Sawicki. He gains the zone and now retreats a little bit with the pressure from Marcus Macchione. Macchione behind the net, gets a touch on it. Gets pressured there. Falcon loses his skates. Penalty about to expire to Mason Rudrud, and he will not come out of the box. The door got jammed. And so the 3-second power play has started and ended, and we're back to full strength. And really, Rivier didn't even really get any power play time at all. What a time for a malfunction. The doors ended up opening simultaneously. Jackson Collins, a 1v2 there in the left circle. Nothing going on that. Macchione swings it around. Collins not able to get a play on it. It's Carter Poulin tries to move it on the far side. Gets caught up by Macchione. Now Nathan Dan trying to come away with the takeaway, the Canadian player from British Columbia. Here's Rudrud on the left side, trying to take it all the way. Can't find himself in a comfortable position. Will drop it back for Michael Caparco. Down the right side for Devin Jolly. Falcons will take control of it. No shots on target in the first 2 minutes of the second period. Falcons leading 3-0. The green and gold will swap out the lines as the puck rims around the boards all the way to the near side in front of the Rivier bench. Zone gain, there's a shot saved by Soderberg off the stick of Brady Boemel. And Soderberg will secure the puck and ensure there's no rebound.
That one definitely a lot closer to him than that one we saw in the first period. Good shot attempt here, right in the slot. Soderberg able to take up enough space in the net to keep that one out. Had a great game against Westfield, has had a great game in these last few stretches. Had a little bit of a rocky comeback from that second, or that break in between first and second semester, but has really started to step into his game again. He's
shaking off the rust and has played well. He makes another stop there, his 10th of the night. Soderberg coming into today, 15 game of the season, 11-2 record, 193 goals against, 942 save percentage. And of course, 3 clean sheets, all right in a row during that first semester. Rivier, just like in the first period, gets the first couple of shots on target here in the second. Jack Saavedra on the near side. Off the boards, down the ice, touched a player on the way, icing waved. Sitnikov out to the near side. Controlled for a moment by Evan Miles. Pushed it forward, Falcons take it instead from Halding. The far side floated into the zone. Sick down there by Curtin as it came back towards him. The near side Miles tries to stretch it up again. He's looking for Chris Lane. Nothing going there. The puck will come back the other way. Icing will be called against the Falcons.
Both teams just trading back and forth opportunities. Some good shifts by these first few lines. The Raiders, starting to get those shots on net. Offensive zone face-off here for them. They're trying to make a little bit of noise in the second period.
Falcons haven't put a shot on Josh Curtin quite yet in this frame. They'll win that draw, and Darev tries to roll that along the boards, but it'll just flow over the boards and out of play. Remember, if a puck goes straight out from the defensive zone, they're not going to give an automatic delay of game. The boards are not the same size from rink to rink, you see. The NHL and all the professional hockey leagues have that luxury, so they can put that rule in. Left side, Rhodey with a shot, rings off the iron. Falcons will try to skate it back the other way. Here's Saavedra. Whiffs on the pass. Now Elaine will try to skate it back with some numbers for Rivier. Kender, he hits the iron as well. 2 shots, 2 posts. A shot that hits the iron does not go in the books as a shot on target. And now Rhodey, flipping it into the zone. Trent Skaggs behind his own net, out to the far side for Battapaglia. Devin Niles holding on the right side. Battapaglia shoots, scores! Ty Battapaglia gets the shot in the right circle. And just like the first period, the first shot of the period finds the back of the net for the Falcons. They lead 4-0.
Battapaglia has just such a great reach. Sitting at 6'4". You see him celebrating with his team over there in the glass. Again, the connection from Niles to the player that scores. He's been assisting so many goals tonight, and Battapaglia just with a great low shot. Able to catch Curtin off guard there.
I think that's the 3rd assist of the night for Devin Niles. Came in today with 15 assists, second on the team. Tied with Christian Halvig. Only behind Alexei Filimonov, who the Falcons are without tonight due to injury. Here's Battapaglia trying to rush back into the zone. And this most dynamic line for the Falcons has now scored 3 goals in this contest.
And again, it's just been great to see.
By number 14, Ty Battapaglia, assisted by Niles and Skaggs.
Great to see this line incorporating other players and still doing great things for the team. Obviously Dunn, the leading goal scorer from last season, came into this season playing a little bit of a different role, not being that leading goal scorer, but great to see him find the back of the net twice himself and playing on a line with 2 players who have done so much for this team so far this season.
We saw last season how strong Hunter Dunn played when he was playing with the Orme Lynch twins. Since transferred to Concordia, Wisconsin. Nathan Dan with a shot that rises over the crossbar. British Columbia native. Trying to move it along as it's caught in the scrum there. 4 different players trying to win that puck. Finally poked out into the slot and taken out by the Raiders. Declan Bronte will seal off the puck. See the pressure there from Rivier, but The Falcons able to get it out of the zone. Up the ice on the left side. College drops off for McKinney. He loses the handle on it. Aaron Sawicki on the near side, the Minnesota native. Loaded that up now. Out to the point, shot. And that's turned up into the netting and out of play. I think Freddie got a piece of that.
Wonder if that hit him right off the mask.
Sounded like the type of impact I heard. Sounded like it could have been, hitting the mask there.
Just a great shot right here. Almost at the blue line. Obviously redirected up into the netting, but that's just how fast these Raiders can get a quality shot off on net.
Faceoff comes to the left of Soderberg. He's got 12 saves in the contest. Miles able to steal it away at the left wing corner. Throws it out through the slot back out to the left point. Shot by Bodine, bounces off the boards. Everybody's scrambling away on the left side of the net. Puck was not covered through all of that. Whipped there by Jacob Bodine again. Out in the right corner, Miles. Centers, good opportunity. Bit of an awkward shot there from Brogan Andrews. Isn't able to get quite the pace he wanted on it. Haldig out to the red line, out of the zone, back in. Bringing that in, Mark Phillips. Nicholas Milhorn, the pass, that hits a leg in front. Rivier tries to go right to goal. Golden couldn't get a shot away, and Andrews commits a penalty. He's going to be called for the trip.
A lot of chaos ensuing in that defensive zone for the Falcons. Soderberg kind of had the puck covered, it knocked loose, and then chaos just ensued from there on out. The Raiders getting a few back-to-back opportunities there, but Mantone putting himself in a really good position there to draw a penalty. The Falcons to the power play now, looking for a strike here to make this a 5-0 game.
Falcons 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Didn't find a goal on a 2-minute power play, didn't find a goal on a 3-second power play. Andrei Bondarev out to Haldig, back for Bondarev. Now Haldig. Hunter Dunn, he's got 2 tonight. Bondarev, shot pass goes to Devin Niles. Niles holding it. Back to Bondarev, shot! And Curtin gets a piece of it, had trouble figuring out where it went. But for his fortune, it ends up going away. He makes the save as he needs to. Soderberg hits a stretch pass, finds Battipaglia. Rim it around the boards. Delayed penalty against Rivier. We're gonna have a 5-on-3 now.
Wait for the official ruling here. So roughing. Yeah, another call as we mentioned. The Raiders averaging about 20.89 penalty minutes coming into the game. So just there, right on Bondarev, right in front of the officials too. Easy call for the officials to make. So the Falcons 5-on-3 opportunity here. Again, this is a unit that has succeeded a lot for the Falcons so far this season.
Wesley Haynes was the guilty party. Had to be summoned off the bench to go to the box. I don't think he believed it was truly against him, but so it was. Bondarev for Haldig. Hunter Dunn through the traffic, deflects up and punched away by Curtin as the puck was precariously in danger of going into the net. Soderberg settles behind. 60 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Dunn, streak up the ice. Put on the brakes behind the net. Out to the right side, and now at the point is Haldig. Through a lot of traffic, it's offline. Now's a race to keep control of the puck. He'll get it off for Haldig with a shooting lane. Shot blocked. Nicely getting in the way of that there was Devin Jolly, junior from Messina, New York. One of the 3 captains on this team. Out back in the zone. Dunn tried the backhander, sailed over the crossbar to the netting, out of play. 20 to go on the 5-on-3, 57 seconds to go on the penalties to Rivier, 11:48 to go in the second, 4-0 Falcons.
Raiders doing a great job of blocking up the slot there, just trying to block any shots that would come from that lane. The Falcons have gone back to that look a few times now. It hasn't really worked for them.
Skaggs winds and fires. It goes wide. Bove, back for Skaggs. Back to Bove. Good save by Kirk. Got it with the arm. 2 seconds and 1. Penalty expires now against Andrews. He's out of the box. 5-on-4 now for another 33 seconds. At the point, Skaggs holding. Andrews disrupting the pass a little bit. Mantone able to swing it back to Bove. Tough to handle there, and the Raiders clear it. Skaggs has to race to that puck to beat Sawicki to it. A bit of a wrestling fight there as Sawicki and Mantone got tied up. They get all untangled, and now Rivier's back to full strength as Haynes comes out of the box. 5-on-5, tough angle shot, and the save made by Curtin off the stick of Alexander Bove. Michael Caparco on the right side had that 6-point night 2 nights ago. It was just a night where everything was going right as Sean Mantone in front looked for Milhorn. Was looking for his second, couldn't get the tip. Gets it back, tries to get a pass, needed to get that through 2 Raider legs, 2 pairs. Gets neither of them. Shot turned wide by the Raiders. 10-10 to go, second period, 4-0 Falcons. Shots in this period, 6-4 in favor of Rivier. They updated the board just as I said 5, you see. Collins for Jack Saavedra. Back for Jackson Collins. Wants to go back to Nolan Sargent. Off the boards, that'll hit the netting. Miss out a little mic over there by a few feet. 13 seconds past halfway in this contest. Falcons lead 4-0.
You know, you definitely want to score on a 5-on-3 opportunity, but a great kill by the Raiders. And the Falcons, you know, still getting some of those shot opportunities, even post power play. Had a couple good looks, but kept going back to that look right up at the top. And just wasn't really finding the way through that good step for them.
Saavedra whiffs on the shot. Tied up on the near side. Puck will be carried out of the zone here by Levi Adcock. Out for Rhodey. Backhand shot heavily disrupted. Couldn't get it on target. Zapata tries to get Jack Saavedra, sticked out of his reach by Chris Elaine. Near side corner around the boards. Andrew Wallison will be first to arrive. He'll pitch it back behind the net for Collins. Collins trying to protect the puck. Jacob Bodine causing some strife. Nice pace on the shot there by Wallison. It was off target. Adcock dispossessed, but picked back up at the blue line by Brady Beaumont. Beaumont will dump it into the zone. Wallison behind the net to the far side for Nolan Sargent. Sargent pounds it off the boards. Wanted to get it Battapagli. It's not going to be icing. Was deemed obtainable. Alfred Rhodey trying to move it along. Dunn nudging it back into the zone and keeping it in the zone as they try to clear on that second effort. Rogan Andrews will skate up the middle of the ice. 4 Falcons surround him. He'll dump in, try the self-pass. Find some degree of success, but not enough to retain possession. Pushed up ice, was looking for Battapaglia. He's not able to take control of it. Rivier dumps it right back in. Long shift here for Wallison. That one comes to the near side, looking for Hunter Dunn. And really in all of that, as Kurt gets crashed into, looked like Wesley Haynes was doing everything there, trying to protect the puck. He accidentally pushed it on goal and accidentally ran into his own netting goalie.
May not have got that hat trick goal for Dunn, but he surely got a Raider in the net. Not necessarily a bad period so far for the Falcons, just a less dominant one in the sense of goal scoring, but still getting great opportunities for themselves. Raiders bench, a little bit of discussion with the officials.
There was some crossness between the two sides. You can see from here, Sean Millerick not terribly pleased with how this game's gone. On the near side, pushing off the boards, Damon Kiawasu. Pushing it forward for Anthony D'Alessio. D'Alessio is a mid-season transfer, came over from Wentworth, played 3 games for the Leopards. That one goes into the Falcon bench. Josh Bordeaux's got his hands up like, why are you shooting it towards me? We mentioned Bordeaux played against Rivier in the first meeting. 2.5 minutes, didn't get to face a shot. He's seen slightly more rubber today. Bordeaux is also the only goalie that's dressed as a reserve for the Falcons today. Both Alex Gerard and Max Macchione are out. On the far side, Mason Rudrud shoved into the boards. On the right side, Caparco holding, puts it across. Nicely fed, shot stopped by Soderberg. And he'll just skate away from the ensuing fracas.
And I can imagine we'll see some sort of discipline here from the officials. Tension's boiling over. I mean, the Raiders are frustrated. You're down 4-0, coming off a dominant win against Worcester, so I can imagine there's a lot of frustration coming from them, especially in the later half of this game. We'll see how it plays out here with the penalties.
You know, it was a potential turning point game. They could see that as, you know, not only beating Worcester State, but beating them dominantly. 8-1, the surprising scoreline. I know Worcester didn't use Donovan Alfama, their first choice in that contest. Don't know injury or otherwise. Everything was going up Millhouse for Rivier in that contest.
You can see here, shot opportunity.
You can see Sawicki knocks DeLuca down to the ice, and he obviously takes offense to that. Both of them in the box. Sargent also sent as well. Or perhaps Mantone, they put 12 on the board.
Oh, wow. So the officials gonna match this, Mantone. And DeLuca very happy about that call.
And now an additional Raider and Caparco's been put in the box as well. So they'll take the penalty off the board. 6:57 to go, second period, 4-0 Falcons in front. They've got the lone goal in the second from Ty Battapaglia. 2 players on either side in the bin right now. We'll exchange words and stories. Sometimes they're cordial, sometimes they're not.
I do love Mantone and DeLuca as players, just their endless grit and intensity they bring every time they play. Just awesome to see, you know, coming in as freshmen as well. Really making an impact on this program. Skag just going over there, tell them to keep it quiet. Both parties just barking back at each other in that box.
Come on, we don't need that now.
Showing a little bit of their youth there.
Everything cancels out, nothing goes on the board. We'll stay 5 aside.
Penalties, number 9, Aaron Sawicki, 2 minutes for a cross check. Rivier, number 5, Michael Caparco, 2 minutes for taunting. Fitchburg State penalties, number 19, Anthony DeLuca, 2 minutes for roughing. Fitchburg State number 12, John Mantone, 2 minutes for roughing.
Sounds like Rivier was going to get a power play out of this, and then Caparco went and did a thing he shouldn't have done. Nice shot there by Dunn. You know, seeing the Raider go down to shut down that thing, just try to flip it over him, see if he can catch Curtin out that way.
And that's just the high IQ plays that Hunter Dunn brings to this team, and I think it's awesome, again, him being able to join such strong players as Niles and Battapaglia. And Niles just a second away, thought he could have had it there. But again, high IQ. Read that, sauce the puck over. And I haven't seen a taunting penalty in a while.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've ever seen that. And definitely not after something like that. Needless to say, Michael Caparco's not having as good of a game as he had 2 nights ago in a couple of different ways. He's in the box for the second time today. As there's a shot out in front and the save made by Josh Curtin. He's made 21 saves in this contest for the Raiders.
Good vision there from Curtin. Puck behind the net. He's able to track it out all the way out in front to the slot. Keeps his composure, keeps his positioning right here. Able to keep that one out.
Faceoff comes to the left of Curtin. So the 4 gentlemen in the booth will serve 2 minutes or more. The shot off the draw goes high and wide. Curtin never moved. Either confidence it was never going his way, or he never saw it. Puck will be cleared down the ice. Will not be icing. Andrei Bondarev will nudge it around the boards on their side for Nathan Dan. Bondarev trying to pull that puck out against the boards. Tight angle shot there by Andrews. Turned aside by Soderberg. Falcons gain it to the red line. Thrown across. Marcus Macchioni trying to get a touch on. Settled down by Sean Golden. Evan Miles on the near side. Miles loses the handle on it, but is able to at least push the puck towards goal. And Soderberg will cover that up.
Evan Miles, not to be confused with Devin Niles on the Fitchburg State side of things.
So closely named. They're very phonetically close to each other, but not quite. Yep. That is Devin Niles and Evan Miles. I say that with clear language, so hopefully everybody gets the pronunciation. The whistle comes exactly 2 minutes after the penalties to the 4 guys. One more guy in the box that could have started a burger chain. But regardless, everyone's out of the box. And icing against the Raiders. 4:44 to go in the second, 4-0 Falcons. Coming into this contest, the Falcons top of the MASCAC with the 6-1 record, 18 points, 1 point ahead of Anna Maria with their 5-1-1 record. Rivier coming into today tied for the 6th and final playoff spot with Framingham and Worcester, all of them sitting on 6 points. It's still a lot of league play to go. It's a 14-game league schedule this season. So we're really just past the halfway point, all things considered. Shot blocked there by Trenton Skaggs. One of the block shot leaders for the Falcons this season. Alfred Rody back in his own zone. From one cap to another, gives it to Carter Poulin. Now to the near side, Hunter Dunn with an intercept. Back to Poulin. On the near side. Coming up into the neutral zone as Trent Skaggs settles it. Try to make a pass, Rody got in the way. And Rody will have the puck for Damon Kiawasu. He's one of the leading scorers for the Raiders last couple of years. Numbers have actually been a little down this season. It's up on the far side. Not able to make a play on the puck was Alexander Beauvais. Now coming back to that right side. Settled down for a moment, not able to get anything off. Now a backhand shot taken. That coming from Anthony D'Alessio. That goes wide of the cage. Kiyowasu, 3 goals, 5 assists this season. 39 career points, had 31 the first 2 seasons. Things just not quite coming to plan for the junior from Sherwood Park, Alberta. That puck sent all the way down. And Curtin will cover it up. I heard the whistle blowing before he'd even had it covered, because everybody knew what was going to happen, and probably just to ensure that nobody tried to start anything.
Wouldn't be shocked if we saw some things arise here. Late happenings of this period.
Draw will come to Curtin's left. Goal to take the draw for the Raiders against Jackson Collins. Collins will win the draw. It's Dan in the right corner. Gets a shot off, but it's offline. Near side, Dan with a shot saved by Curtin.
Falcons taking some of these off-angle shots. See Dan just kind of pulling that back in around towards his body here.
One thing I like there from Curtin too is he's going down there, he's also making sure that he's got his right pad pinned against the post there to seal that up and ensure that nothing's going to sneak by that low in that area.
You know, 4 goals against him, but he's playing such a solid game. Really keeping the Raiders in this one.
Sometimes there's only so much you can do as a keeper. Falcons had a number of quality chances in this contest. 2:15 to go, second period, 4-0 Falcons. Rivier holds behind their own net, Mark Phillips. Out to the near side for Golden. He'll skate up the middle of the ice. Off from Miles. His shot is offline. Andrews. His pass cut down. Pass for Marcus Macchione is behind him. Around the boards they'll go to the far side. Declan Bronte off the boards, wanted for Zapata, just out of his reach. All the way back into the defensive end for the Raiders. Devin Jolly. Now to the near side for Poulin. Up ice for Adcock. Tight angle shot finds nothing, but it ricochets out to Jolly at the left point. A lot of traffic. Finds its way through, but not on target. They fight against the boards. Declan Bronte will come up with it. Raiders will keep it in, rim it back around to the near side. Svedra gets there first. Rhodey, his counterpart in 8, with the pressure. Puck goes off the referee's skates. I think that's the 3rd time he's been caught up today. He's got to work on his leaping ability. We're in the final minute of the second period. Here's Jack Saavedra. Tries to shake off that hit. He's able to knock down that pass. Falcons get back on side. Hallbig. Round to the right side. Settle on the right side boards. Shot is blocked. Elaine tries to get out of the zone. Battipaglia gets a stick down. Battipaglia also runs into the other gentleman with the stripes on the shirt. The orange ones, I mean. Into the right wing corner, Poulin trying to clear it out. He's able to flip it out of the zone. Rhodey tries to feed his teammate Adcock on the right wing, but it's cut down in the neutral zone. 5 seconds to go in the period. Battipaglia into the zone, gets a shot off. It's stopped by Curtin. He'll glove it with 2.6 to go in the second.
Great rush opportunities for the Falcons. Getting their sticks in the passing lanes of the Raiders. You see Zapata a few plays ago able to break it up right at the top of the zone. And then Dunn a few seconds ago in that neutral zone. Starting to anticipate some of these plays the Raiders are trying to string together.
Rivier puts a lot of players in between the face-off dot and Curtin. They know the Falcons are going to try to shoot it on target off the draw with so little time. And nothing will come of that as the buzzer sounds. and 2 periods are complete here at the Wallace Civic Center. The Falcons with a single goal in the second. That's all they really need to take a 4-0 lead into the second intermission.
Yeah, not a bad period played by the Falcons. Not necessarily a dominant one, but one where they, for the most part, kept it clean, didn't have to go in the PK. And, you know, just stood tall in the ways they needed to.
I believe shots in that second period will go in the books as 8 for the Falcons and 9 for the Raiders. Shots now 26-17 in the contest across 2 periods of play. So yet again, the Falcons get outshot in this frame, but they did still outscore their opposition. And although much as it's been to script this year, the second period a bit of a come down compared to the first, they're still the better team through 40 minutes of play.
Absolutely, and you know, I think that Westfield game showed them that the consistency can be there for them, you know. Stringing along the right plays, doing the small things, winning the battles along the boards, getting your stick in the passing lane, anticipating stuff. It's all about the consistency of those things throughout all 3 periods, and I think they showed that in that Westfield game and not only proved to everyone else but themselves that they can be consistent over 60 minutes.
And we will see if they are able to make it a complete 60-minute game and come away with a solid victory. 2 periods in the books. It's Fitchburg State 4, Rivier nothing. We'll take a break for the intermission. When we come back, the 3rd period of action here on Hockey Day in the Burg. Coming up next right here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. 2 periods in the books between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Raiders of Rivier University. Falcons lead 4-0 here in the first of 2 telecasts we'll bring you today of Hockey Day in the Burg. Daniel Bolak, Nola Patty here with you. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from that second period of play.
The Raiders getting some good opportunities in on Soderberg early in that second period. The rush is starting to connect a little bit more. They've had a lot of chances, just none have been able to find the back of the net. Soderberg standing tall there for the Falcons, finding his rhythm back in cage, having his positioning locked in. He's been great for the Falcons through 40 minutes. That goal there from Battipaglia, able to make it a 4-0 game. Use all 6'4" of his body there, just angled that shot in, kept it low. The assist from Niles, his 3rd of the night. They've connected so well, incorporating Dunn on their line. He's done some great things, 2 goals in 11 seconds from him in that first period, excuse me. Some 5-on-3 for the Falcons. Weren't able to net one, but had a lot of good opportunities. Curtin just with some outstanding saves, robbing the Falcons of some of these goals. And it could be a much larger deficit in this game if it wasn't for him standing up and having a great game himself. So it's been great to see both goalkeepers trading back and forth saves. And obviously this was the main event of that second period. That pointing back this way. Just again, great looks from Dunn, trying to feed that puck onto the stick of Niles. And great shot opportunities for the Falcons, but only 1 went in for them.
Period was relatively even in terms of the shots. 9-8 in favor of Rivier. You can see TBO 14, Tebow tough for Jake Tebow, of whom Hockey Day in the Burg is here to celebrate. And all the ticket sales here today will go towards the Tebow Family Rehabilitation Trust. And remember, you know, there are 4 games today here on Hockey Day in the Burg. The first game, Leominster High School girls hockey taking on Algonquin. That was a 4-0 win for the Titans, the visiting side. Algonquin, one of the best teams in all of the state this season. So that was always going to be a tough challenge for the local side. Game number 2, Lunenburg Air Shirley took on Littleton Bromfield. A very close one, 1-1 through regulation, but the Tigers of Littleton Bromfield won it in overtime. And for Falcon assistant coach Kevin Lizotte, he came away from that game a very happy man. He's the head coach of Littleton Bromfield after all. And up after this game, we're going to have the 4th and final game of Hockey Day in the Burg, a hyper-local matchup, the St. Bernard's Bernardians and the Monty Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs. That game will come on after this game wraps up.
I think it's great to see games And days like this just show how small the hockey community really is when it comes down to things. So many coaches, players, all have different connections back to North Central Mass and this rink specifically. And so great to see just the community come out today, not just supporting Jake, but all the hockey players playing on ice today, all the coaches, all the families coming out to watch their kids play. It's just been so great to see such a great community day here in Fitchburg.
And Kevin Lizotte, longtime friends with the Tebow family, same with Dean Fuller, longtime head coach of the Falcons. And Coach Fuller has said, anything we can do for Jake, we'll do for him. Way back at the beginning of the season at Halloween, a 2-game series with the Babson Beavers where Jake attends. He would have played hockey for Babson had it not been for the injury. But he's still a part of the team the best that he can. And both teams wore special jerseys that were auctioned off for charity. It was quite the event, quite the time. Falcons go left to right in the third period. Rivier goes right to left. 20 more minutes of hockey to be played. As Nolan Sargent behind the net, Trent Skaggs. Sargent continues to hold on to the puck. Damikia Wasu wants to dispossess him. Falcons get it off to Batapagli, try to get it back to Sargent, missed everybody. Dunn will make a late touch to get it to Devin Niles. He'll race up ice. Mercer Lane gets tangled up with Niles. He'll go tumbling to the ice behind the play. Pass was not properly touched there on the way by Anthony D'Alessio, and it'll go for icing.
So some opportunities traded back and forth between these teams in the early few seconds of the third period. We said, heading into the break, the Falcons didn't have a bad second period. It just wasn't as dominant as their first. So it's just about, for them, building off of that, knowing that you have a strong lead, you want to maintain it. And for the Raiders, it's all about just getting one goal and building from there.
Throw from Hallpig into the left wing corner. Now Jackson Collins into the right side. Collins, a lot of sticks there to try to dispossess. Andre Mandarev, through a lot of traffic, found its way to Josh Curtin. He's able to make the stop.
Keep sending that puck back to Bondarev. He's trying to search there for his first goal with the Falcons.
The freshman from Stockholm, Sweden, has 3 assists on the season. 9 shots on target coming into today. Back to Mandarev, try again. Much better shot that time. Curtin with a much better save.
And he has so much power behind his shot. These shots coming from far out. Curtin has a little bit of a longer time to track that puck, even though it is coming at that great speed off of Bondarev's stick. But I like that they're, utilizing their defensemen in these plays. I think it's great to get some different opportunities shot-wise. And the defensemen, even Hallbig too out on the ice, they have great shots.
Nathan Dan on the near side for Collins. Out in front, Marcus Macchione couldn't really settle it on the stick. Brogan Andrews behind him was able to really disrupt things. That's going to come out of the zone, down the ice. Will not be icing, so Bondarev will have to play it along. Hallbig had a little bit of trouble keeping it on the stick. Puck to the far side boards. And pops out of the zone. Brady Bommel up for Andrews. Left side, Miles with the shot. That's gloved by Freddie Soderberg.
Nice opportunity there off the stick of Miles. But again, Soderberg just tracking the puck so well. Keeps his positioning. He's a great goaltender when it comes down to it. Got the Goaltender of the Week award again this season. Just does great things and boosts the Falcons when they need it.
I believe he's picked up 4 of those now as a penalty against Andre Bondarev for a slash. Rivier's going to go on the power play for the second time today. It's the 5th penalty against Fitchburg, but 3 of those penalties canceled out. Shot knocked down in front. This will be Rivier's longest power play of the night. The first one was 3 seconds. Raiders are going to gather up here from Peyton Kender. Gains the red line. Drops it off for Aaron Sawicki. Sawicki on his knees into the zone, gets back up on his skates. Caparco out to the point. Attempted shot, sticked aside there by Nolan Sargent, tries to clear out of the zone. First effort unsuccessful, second effort leads to the puck striking someone on the Falcon bench. Faceoff will come to one side of Soderberg. 1:26 to go in the man advantage, 17:35 to go in the third period. Three of our officials having a conversation at the faceoff dot. Maybe there was a disagreement on how exactly that puck exited play. Now the fourth official will join in the discussion as they'll deliberate on where the next faceoff should be.
And if you're the Raiders right now, this power play is very important. You want to get one here and just start building up from there if you want to get yourself back in this game. Coming off an impressive win against Worcester, you know, you got to use that as momentum. You know you can score goals against good teams.
Clearing attempts kept in the zone. Kender out to the left side, held down by Rudrud. Now behind the net. Godin moving it along. Here's Sawicki, cross Rudrud. Tries to get it on his forehand, but dispossessed there by Jackson Collins. Hunter Dunn will skate it up ice. Gets stopped at the blue line. Did Bronte just play a little bit of keep away before dumping it into the zone. Curtin behind the net. Leaves it on the near side. Up the ice is Peyton Kender. Kender around the boards for Jacob Bodine. Now off the boards, near side. Pressure there on Mason Rudrud. And the Falcons will clear it down the ice. Rivier's power play is solid, 21%. 36th out of 91 teams in Division III, fourth in the MASCAC. Falcons kill 88.5%, third in the MASCAC, 13th in the nation. On the far side, puck going airborne a couple times, finally settle out there to pull in. His shot blocked. Battapaglia flips it forward, trying to spring Devin Niles. Niles gets tied up a little bit there, and delayed offside against the Falcons. Back the other way. Curtin slams the stick to indicate penalty is up. It's a takeaway, nice shot by Poulan, saved by Soderberg. On the far side, there's a tire blown, and the Falcons coming back with some numbers. Opportunity for Battapaglia, his shot scores! And just like in the second, it's a snipe from Ty Battapaglia to find the back of the net. 5-0 Falcons.
Great play read here. Battapaglia gets the defenseman to commit there. Looked like Curtin almost got a piece of it. Right off that shoulder area, but just too much power off the stick of Battapaglia. It's a 5-0 game for the Falcons, capitalizing off an unfortunate turnover for the Raiders.
Second goal of the night for Ty Battapaglia.
Fitchburg State goal at 4 minutes, 8 seconds of the third period. Number 14, Ty Battapaglia, unassisted.
It'll be Battapaglia all by himself on this one as that shot goes off Skaggs in front. Saavedra with a touch on. Now it comes back for Alexander Beauvais. The Frenchman on for Skaggs. Tried to get it back to Beauvais with a touch. Now Saavedra out in front, crashing there. Senior from Indiana trying to make the moves on there. Evan Miles on the left side boards, throws it out to the right. That shot goes off a Falcon skate, flies high in the air, stays in play. Miles on the left side. Beauvais battling. And on the near side, it is Zapata who is able to knock the puck away. Down the ice it'll go. And into the near side corner, 14:42 to go, third period. 5-0 Falcons in front. Manto leaves it off here. DeLuca, shot blocked. Still loose in the slot. Can't be cleared cleanly away. Another shot from the left side boards. Blocked again. Clear down the ice, but Darev trying to protect the puck from Rody. Left wing corner, Rody kept it in the zone. Falcons able to pitchfork it out. Mark Phillips on the near side. Brady Bowl around to the right side. Fed up for Mantone. Strong positioning by Chris Elaine, the former Framingham State Ram. Falcons get a takeaway, try to go for a bank shot. Goes off the legs of Kender. Kept in the zone by Milhorn. He's got a goal tonight as well. He'll have a shot, but it's blocked in front. Gets it back though. McKinney sends it into the left wing corner. Elaine, Milhorn takes it away. Milhorn puts it over the net. Comes to Declan Bronte. On the right side, around the boards for DeLuca. McKinney stepping up there. Just try to flick it along the boards. Cut down though, and sent out into the neutral zone by Adcock. Back in, here's Marcus Macchione. Just gonna try to kill some time here. Goes for a backhand. Kerr makes the stop, puck still available, jamming away. Ultimately, it's covered for a draw with 13:16 to go in the third. Let's thank our FATV underwriters. I probably should have given Nate proper
Fitchburg
warning
Access
that time.
Television's remote productions are brought to you in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, All One Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and Unitil.
I take all the blame for that late throw there, but we thank our FATV underwriters for making all of our remote productions possible. Alfred Rohde's in the bin for two. Christian Hallbig with a shot that goes wide.
Rohde, 2 minutes for a cross-check, 2 minutes.
And cross-checking the call against Rohde, the 8th penalty against Rivier tonight. That one is gonna bounce its way in! It takes a change in direction in front. Might have been done. That'd be a hat trick if it is. And either way, it's 6-0 Falcons.
Hunter Dunn leading the handshake line there. Niles sends that puck right in front of the net there. Dunn able to get the slightest redirection on it. It finds its way to the back of the net. And Hunter Dunn has half the goals for the Falcons in tonight's contest.
Came in tonight with 6 goals in the season. He's now got 9, and we'll have another penalty here.
All smiles from Jackson Collins as he makes his way to the bench. And yet another penalty here for the Raiders. It'll be 4-4 hockey, but
Can we establish that Jackson Collins and Aaron Sawicki do not like each other?
I think we can say that pretty clearly now.
This is the second time they've gone tonight for matching minors. So just right off the draw, there's that extra shove there. A bit gratuitous there, if we want to be honest.
A lot of talking going on in the box between both teams so far this game.
Both these players played in the EHL.
Fitchburg State goal at 7 minutes and 1 second of the third period. Number 16, Hunter Dunn, assisted by number 10, Devin Niles.
Niles gets the lone assist. We're getting another penalty here. That's a slash.
I mean, the Raiders have 20 penalty minutes per game coming into this one, so I think this was something that we could have assumed was going to happen. Obviously, a lot of frustration coming from the Raiders in the later half of this game, down 6-0, facing the top team in MassCAC right now.
Chris Elaine is the guilty party. 2 minutes in the discipline dungeon. That's the 10th penalty against Rivier tonight. I mean, I do get the 20, averaging 20 penalty minutes a game. I'm actually surprised they got there without a misconduct. 10 minors. This will be the 6th power play of the night for Fitchburg State.
Definitely not the cleanest hockey game we've seen. Some discussion happening between parties there.
When these teams met earlier this year, it was a 6-1 win for the Falcons. They had 2 from Ty Battipaglia. He had 2 assists as well. Hunter Dunn had 2 goals in that one, so what else is new, I guess? Devin Niles and Alexi Filimonov had the other 2 goals. They each had 2 assists in that game as well. Soderberg was 30 for 31. Josh Bordeaux finished the game the last 2.5 minutes. And now they are sending Michael Caparco to the penalty box, or I guess back to the penalty box. It'll be the 3rd time he's in there. I imagine he might be serving a penalty. We'll get confirmation on all that. Niles scores! Or maybe Christian Halvik scores. How about that instead? The graduate student from Queenstown, Maryland's got his 2nd goal of the season. The extra point is good. It's 7-0.
Just a great shot from Halvik. You can see, picks his head up, sees he has a shooting lane, and that quick wrister finds its way to the back of the net. And a quick trip to the box. Not even time to sit.
They took the wrong penalty off the board. I think it's supposed to be the, or at least I believe in this circumstance, it's supposed to be the penalty against, it was the slashing penalty against Elaine, I think, was supposed to come off the board, but they took the other penalty
7
off.
minutes, 29 seconds, scored by number 20, Christian Halvik, assisted by number 15, Trenton Skaggs, and number 10, Devin Niles.
So Niles with yet another assist on the night.
Fitchburg State, number 26, Jackson Collins, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Yep. Dr. Hines has got a whole backlog to go through here. So it's 4-on-4 for the next minute.
Rivier, penalty number 9. 2 minutes for embellishment.
Embellishment was the penalty
Rivier,
against
penalty
Sawicki.
number 7.
They felt
Chris
he went down
Elaine.
easy, which...
2 minutes for slashing and 10-minute misconduct.
And then Elaine got the misconduct, so now they're well over 20 minutes for the game.
So, taunting and embellishment, 2 calls you don't see too often in the sport of hockey. Embellishment a lot more than taunting.
Saavedra back for Zapata, whiffs on it. Skaggs shoots, saved by Curtin.
Skaggs definitely going to want that one back, but nothing to be upset about. That was a great shot opportunity right in the slot. Curtin just made the better half of that save. See here, DeLuca kind of whiffs on that shot, able to pull it back into his body, give it off to Skaggs.
And I guess considering they took that penalty against Sawicki off the board instead of the penalty against Elaine, that it means the Falcons are actually going to get another brief power play for 15 seconds. I would have figured the matching minors weren't eligible to be taken off, but maybe I'm just misremembering how the rules go. It's not very often you see 4-on-3 goals in those circumstances. Right point shot saved by Soderberg. And Sawicki's come out of the box, and now I think the officials are now alerted to the weirdness that happened there.
Trying to figure out penalties. There's been so many of them this game.
So even though so a penalty comes off the board on the power play goal by Halvik, and so from there, someone should come out of the box. No one ever did come out of the box for Rivier, and it should have been, in my opinion, it should have been Elaine's penalty that would have gone off the boards, which would have freed Caparco, who's serving it, because Elaine's got a misconduct. But they took the penalty against Sawicki off the board, which leaves this power play that maybe the Falcons should or shouldn't have. Well, the officials didn't reckon with it when it happened. Now they have to deal with it now. So again, a reminder, our next contest here on FATV coming up next, St. Bernard's and Monty Tech Fitchburg for a Battle of Fitchburg. Our next telecast of Falcon hockey will be on Thursday, where the Falcons will take on the Rams of Framingham State. This time it counts.
I know, it feels like they've seen the Rams quite a few times this season. both dominant wins for the Falcons, so trying to go for that three-peat there. And it's back here on home ice.
Indeed it is. Also a reminder, next week on FATV we'll have a hockey doubleheader, as the Monty Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs will be hosting the East Hampton Eagles at 2 o'clock. Then at 4, St. Bernard's will be on the ice here at the Civic Center, taking on the Mustangs of Keefe Tech. Some very different opponents coming to Fitchburg. Always neat to see some different schools make their way up here. They've taken the penalty off the board that was against Elaine, which maybe never should have been on the board to begin with after the Paulvig goal. Remember so many years ago, this was 2010. It was a MassCAC semifinal between Fitchburg State and UMass Dartmouth. And at the start of the third period, the clock operator, who was not Jim LaPointe, this was the incident that made the Falcons start hiring Jim LaPointe to do these games, didn't turn the penalty clocks back on because there were carryovers. And so the penalty clocks were frozen at the start of the third period. About 40 seconds ran off, and then I swear, the officials and everyone spent 20 minutes doing the math to figure out what the penalty should have been after that. Fortunately, I wasn't a broadcaster at that time, because how much tap dancing can you do across that time?
I know, hard to keep thinking of things to say.
Maybe Kaparko did come out of the box on the goal, but Sawicki stayed in, but it should have been the other way around. But yeah, now the penalty is off the board as it should be, and we are back to full strength.
Still quite some time left to be played in this third period.
Falcons lead 7-0 as Collins drops it from Accioni. That shot shoulder away by Curtin into the netting and out of play. This will be a game that's not going to do wonders for Josh Curtin's stats, but this isn't his fault. He's just been getting it. I mean, the Raiders have been basically getting caved in all these high danger chances. Draw one by the Falcons. Out to the right side for Collins. Marcus Macchioni on the left side. Off the boards, Bondarev will take the shot, fought off by Curtin. When these two teams played earlier this year, Mason Meyer, who's been, I guess, statistically the 2 for Rivier, ended up getting the nod in that game. He conceded 6 goals on 43 shots, so 37 saves. I don't know if Sean Millerick, who was a former goalie at Becker, would consider pulling Curtin, giving maybe someone else a little more time in goal in the later stages. I imagine Dean Fuller would probably consider the same thing and give Josh Bordeaux some more playing time, but the thing is, while Freddie Soderberg is working on this no goals allowed thing in this contest, I think he's going to let Soderberg stay in and try to go for it. After all, it'd be his 4th of the season if he can complete it. Meanwhile, we have more penalties. What else is new? It's Marcus Macchioni and Peyton Kender who are going to go for more time.
It's just one of those games.
So, who loves 4-on-4? Let's do some more.
I feel like I cursed this at the beginning of the broadcast, talking about how the Falcons love 4-on-4 hockey.
Jack Saavedra just fell down off the bench. That's the worst thing that happens in this game. Things are going well. So, our penalty box attendants have gotten their money's worth today. As that shot gloved by Soderberg.
Still standing strong. Staying sharp in there. Can be easy for goalkeepers just to kind of relax a little bit. You got a 7-0 lead, but he has stayed sharp in net.
When there are long stretches where not a whole lot is happening for someone. To use a phrase of terminology, it's easy for someone to switch off, basically. I know how challenging it can be to keep the switch in the on position for 60 minutes.
Just credit to his abilities to stay locked into every single game and keep making quality saves.
Remember there was a game of street hockey I played years ago where it was against the one team we were actually competitive against that season. And there was a point in probably the second period or so where they took a shot from distance, got me in the pads off to the side, and I thought to myself, I kind of zoned out for a moment, so after it hit me in the pads and went to the side, I was like, wow, really good that they just shot it right in my pads, because if that had any danger to it, I would have had egg on my face. And that was a game that ended 3-3. That could have been the difference between them winning the game and not.
So important for all players in the ice just to stay locked into the game, and I think that's what the Falcons have done through the majority of this game. Even in this third period, when we're leading 7-0, the forecheck is still so high pressure, and they're really being relentless on all aspects.
So one of my favorite things that I love to see when you have these games with the high school kids coming up next is them standing there in front of the locker rooms, getting to take it in. Get to watch some really nice hockey. And there are some kids on those teams that I think are good enough to play at the next level.
It's inspiration. It's inspiration to see. This is the goal for a lot of those kids. So seeing it being played locally for them, you know, they go to school, especially for St. Bernard's kids, they go to school in the city that Fitchburg plays in. So they play on the same ice that these Falcons are playing on, and it's inspirational, it's motivation, and it's proof that you work hard enough, you can make it to that next level. It's all just about the grit and the commitment.
45 seconds to go on the 4-on-4, 8:15 to go in the third, 7-0 Falcons in front. Well on their way to their 7th MASCAC victory of the season. Bodine able to keep it in. He tries to get a shot off, but Milhorn gets in the way, shuts that down. Jacob Bodine regains the zone, gets a shot off. And Freddie Soderberg able to gobble that up.
Shots kind of coming, not out of nowhere for the Raiders, but they can turn it on very quickly. You see that slap shot there, just trying to get anything to go for the Raiders. Good chance, but again, Soderberg just staying sharp.
The sound that drum line makes, there's only 7 of them over there. But the acoustics of this building, how it can reverberate across. Offside against the Falcons.
Antone just losing the handle on that puck for a split second. It's the offsides call.
Still 4-on-4 for another 13 seconds, 7:44 to go in this contest. Draw control by the Falcons, back to Isaiah McKinney. Declan Bronte not able to read that pass, so he'll go down the ice and just barely go for icing.
Seen a lot of those close calls for icing tonight. Stretch passes, definitely something the Falcons like to use a lot. Feels like their forwards can really stretch up the play and get the ball rolling pretty quickly. Sometimes, you know, just a little miss on the mark and it's down there for icing.
Draw control by the Falcons. Penalties expire to Macchioni and Kender. They're out of the box. We're back to full strength again. Here's Battapaglia. I was going to say looking for a hat trick of his own, but he gets the pass off there to Bronte. Then in the direction of Dunn. Falcons settle it down. Battapaglia creates some moves, gets in lane, gets a shot off. That's fought off there by Kirk. Looked out of the zone, knocked down by Bronte. Has his pocket picked there. Great shot save, score! There's the collapse there, and Anthony D'Alessio has his first goal as a Rivier Raider to make it 7-1.
That's honestly what Riv wanted at this point, was just to not get shut out there. broken play from the Falcons defense. Bronte unable to hold possession of that puck, and then McKinney just not right on the mark there. And that'll break up the shutout that Soderberg was hoping to get in net, but, well, what do you know? Some more penalties.
Not only does D'Anthony D'Alessio, the sophomore from Burlington, Mass, get his first goal of the season, he also gets a penalty afterwards for all of his efforts. So good job, good effort there. And so the Falcons get an immediate power play. Score a goal, get a penalty. He'll get to celebrate his achievement in the bin for 2 minutes or less. You know, Anthony has a brother, Paul, who also plays collegiately. He's a goalie for Nazareth out in New York State. I had to do some research specifically on D'Alessio because on the Rivier roster, all of his biographical information is entered on the site as emoji shrug. Just never really got around to adding that. So thank you, Elite Prospects. Penalty against Rivier.
Goal at 13:01 of the third period, scored by number 19, Anthony D'Alessio.
This is getting kind of silly now. It's the second time today the Falcons will have a 5-on-3.
Just right here, the slash into the hands there, Skaggs. He knew it right away, too.
Skaggs will hold.
That Rivier goal was assisted by number 17,
That shot goes
Sean
just
Goldman.
wide.
Number 19, Anthony D'Alessio.
Now Skaggs holding. Left side, shot. Cut down in front. Maybe it got to Josh Curtin. Cleared down the ice. Soderberg leaves it for Trenton Skaggs. Will skate up the middle. Skaggs holds it on the right side boards. 62 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Macchione can't settle it. Riv tries to clear it. They will. I have noticed that Josh Bordeaux has now migrated to the center of the bench. I'm guessing the next whistle we're going to see a goalie change. Devin Niles, Andre Mandarev, Christian Halbig, Hunter Dunn, across, one-timer. That goes wide. Cleared down the ice, it'll go. 25 to go on the 5-on-3. 45 seconds to go on this man advantage again. Falcons now 2 for 8 on the power play tonight. So despite getting 2 goals, their efficiency is set to go down. They can get a third one here. Battapaglia shot saved by Curtin. Halbig looking for a lane, gets the shot. It's stopped by Curtin. And you can see one tap on the pads of Curtin. And Jacob Bodine takes grave offense.
Looks like they're going to send both of them into the box there.
Yeah. I mean, you got it with the glove and he's tapping at the pads there.
Few extra pushes, 2 after the whistle. Understandable why both would go there, but again, just some more discussion. That penalty box for the Raiders getting real crowded now. I mean, I kind of anticipated having a lot of penalties in this game with the stat of 20 minutes per game for the Raiders, but I did not anticipate it to get this chippy.
The goaltending change has been made. Josh Bordeaux is now in net for the Falcons. It's like, I get it. You know what, if it was at the pad, then I would have understood the whack there. But it was in the glove. Soderberg just shaking his head. Man, I could have had that shutout. So Bordeaux makes his second collegiate appearance. He's a freshman from Bernardston, Mass. To get to Bernardston, just to take Route 2 west of Greenfield, get on 91 for an exit north, and there you go. Hunter Dunn on the right side. It's jammed into the boards there. All the penalties that were on the board against Rivier are up. So we're back to 5-on-5. Bondarev takes it into the corner. Has that cleared all the way down the ice. Bordeaux will backhand it along. He played in the other Rivier game, 2.5 minutes, didn't face a shot. We'll see if he gets to face one. Falcons throw it out in front, nothing going there. Near side, Rody. Up the near side, but he's jammed in the boards, dispossessed. Wraparound chance, saved by Bordeaux, and he sticks it away. A good cheer coming from the far side. Now he's got a save to call his own. Bordeaux was a goalie in junior hockey who faced basically 1 million shots a game, as offside is called against the Raiders. Just to put his stats in perspective with the Kingston Wranglers, 17 games played, 0-13 record, goals against a .935, save percentage of .851. He faced 63 shots a game.
Yeah, that he's been tested quite some time.
And I can assure you he was the best goalie on that team. When every chance is a high danger chance. He's also played for other junior teams where he's had much better numbers. Alexander Beauvais up the left side, floats that on goal. Can of corn for Josh Curtin. He'll make the glove stop. Just looking at the other Rivier netminders. There's Mason Meyer, 0-6, 539 goals against coming in today. Matt Dorr is the third choice by statistics based on dressing today. 0-2, 556, 882. Dylan Bowen, the scratch keeper for the Raiders. He's played 12 minutes this season. On the left point, shot blocked in front. Bronte on the right side. Tried to get it to Saavedra. And Bronte backhands it into the left wing corner. Down into the neutral zone. Sticked away from Mason Rudrud, but he's going to get it back. Gets a brief touch on it before Declan Bronte steals it away. Pushing it back to the neutral zone. Raiders going further backwards. Bronte swings it around the boards. In behind the net. Kender just chucks it into the right wing corner. Ends up waving any icing because Bordeaux has to play it. Dumped back in by the Raiders around to the left wing corner. Bronte there again around to Mantone. Out of the zone and back into the Raider end. Milhorn following on. On the near side, trying to backhandle along was Caparco. Around to the far side. Devin Jolly throws it all the way on goal, and Bordeaux will stick that down and leave it. Nobody was actively checking, so he couldn't cover it. 100 seconds to go in this contest. Falcons lead by 6 goals. Jolly for Andrus. Down in the Falcon end. Bondarev to the near side. And we have a whistle. Too many men.
Just gonna cap it all off for penalties for today.
Everybody was getting crossed up here on the near side, and a couple of Raiders collided with each other, and puck touched one of them while there was clearly 6 on there, and I ran out of space on my stat sheet. I got 15 written down before I ran out.
Too many men on the ice. 2 minutes.
Falcons will have one more power play. Nice redirect there. And Kirk turns it aside. It'll be the 9th power play of the night for the Falcons. Trying to jam that puck free. Rivier wouldn't mind it staying there for the last minute. Finally, it pops free out to McKinney on the left wing corner. He's just getting wrestled into the corner and taken down to the ice. Bondarev with a shot. And wouldn't you know it, more penalties.
Thought we were going to be able to escape that, but yeah, why not? Why not?
Brady Bomo, the Westford native, will sit for the remainder. And so will Isaiah McKinney. Today will not be the day that the Nashua native gets his first point of the season. It wouldn't have been nice to do it against his hometown team. Matching minors don't go on the board when there's already a power play up there, so those will come straight off. Vadra's shot was blocked in front. So much indiscipline by the Raiders today. And the scoreline hasn't been great either. Saavedra. The Falcons holding back in their own end. I think they're satisfied with the scoreline. I think they're satisfied with how this game has gone. If you're a Falcon fan, you should be too. Buzzer will sound. Falcons will take it 7-1.
Another dominant win for the Falcons. They'll send the Raiders back home with another loss on the season. And it feels like in this stretch of the games, the Falcons have seemed unstoppable. There's so much depth on this team. 4 lines that can score goals. 4 lines who could produce so much offense. Their defense, standing tall, making great plays. The goaltending has been on point. It's just pure dominance here in Fitchburg, and it has been for so many games this season, outscoring opponents by so many goals. Today, playing a complete 60-minute game. The penalties, they were up there, but nothing too costly. So just great to see the Falcons having consistency throughout the 60 minutes, strung together a great win. Dominant first period. Solid second period, and then obviously a dominant third period as well.
Falcons committed 8 penalties, but only conceded 2 power plays, and only one of those was 3 seconds, because so many of them were matching. Rivier committed what I'm going to charitably call as too many. This is a gritty team, maybe a little too gritty for their own good. The penalties sure were not helping. At least there's still 3 Raiders who will join in the prayer circle today, though.
Always great to see that. Join the community on a day where we're celebrating such an important person in our community, Jake Tebow, Hockey Day in the Berg. Yet another successful year for the Falcons. Had their skate last night, skating with some more of the community members, St. Bernard's players as well. And just a very fun weekend celebrating Fitchburg and the hockey world here. But yeah, another great dominant win by the Falcons, and they just keep rolling on. They really do.
I find the irony in such a chippy game, that's one of the bigger prayer circles we've seen this season with 9 players. But the Falcons take their 14th win of the season and the 13th in their last 14 games, rising to 14-5, 6-1 in the MASCAC. They will remain in first place in the conference at the end of the night. Rivier falls to 2-16-1, 2-6 in the MASCAC. Clearly I did something wrong to make those numbers wrong. I didn't say it was a conference game. The Falcons are 7-1 and Rivier's 2-6. You miss one little step in your process. And those records don't magically update. Oh well. Falcons will next be in action on Thursday. They will take on Framingham State for a 6:30 puck drop. Those two teams played just over a week ago here in Fitchburg, but that was a non-conference game to fill up the schedule. This one will be a conference game, and so the 3 points will be on the line. Meanwhile, for Rivier, they'll next be in action on Thursday the 5th as well. They will be taking on the Vikings of Salem State for a 7 o'clock puck drop. Salem State was, until this week, the one team that Rivier had beaten this season. So, I think the Vikings are going to be looking for some revenge at the Rocket.
Absolutely, and we'll see how the Raiders can respond to that. Obviously we talked a lot about that dominant win with Worcester, and then now, a hard loss to the Fitchburg Falcons. And now you got to face Salem, so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this season goes for the MASCAC, and playoff time it's on its way.
As you see the highlights here from this third period of action, so much happening in this contest. And you can see the goal scored by Alessio and the immediate penalty he took. It was that kind of night. Falcons take the win 7-1. Want to thank our crew, Nate Glennie, our director, Travis Falk on audio and graphics, Henry Christensen on replay, our camera operators today, Evan Schackenbach, Aiden Trueheart, Isaiah Manuel, and Robin Como, and Alex Fabrili there as well. And all the wonderful stuff. If you're only interested in this game, we thank you for tuning in. But we invite you to stick around for the next game, the St. Bernard's Bernardians and the Monty Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs, to put a cap on Hockey Day in the Burg here on FATV. So for Nola Patty, I'm Daniel Bolak saying thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time. Until then, so long from Fitchburg.